guys, what's going on? This is Nasar, aka the Real Estate Guru. I'm not a guru, I'm a duru because I actually do this business. Now, please, first things first, beat that like button up for me. Okay, alright, so after you hit that like button, let's get into this. So I still get this question a lot, right? And this is new to people, so therefore they want to know, does this stuff really work? You know, are those guys on YouTube lying? Or, I'm hearing about it on the podcast or on social media or TikTok. Can you really make money doing this? Absolutely. You can make money doing this. Simple answer, yes, it does work, but I want to get more in detail and explain it, okay? I've always wanted to be a real estate investor, right? Since I was 19 years old, I wanted to be a real estate investor, okay? What inspired me was, at 19, I overheard my father talking to the guy next door about him flipping a house, right? About his partner, the guy next door. Our neighbor sold the house, and the investor flipped the house, right? So the investor bought for 150, put 20 into it, and sold it for 270, right? So I'm like, oh my God, $100,000. So you're 19, $100,000. That's more than enough, right? At that when you're 19, right? So I'm like, well, how do I get into real estate, right? So eventually I end up buying my first property at 24 years old, right? And I bought a flip. We end up losing money on that flip, so I rehabbed the property and we end up losing, me and my boy. And 2008, moved down to Charlotte, North Carolina, bought a rental property. 2009, I bought another rental property. 2010, I wanted to buy another rental property. And I'm doing all this the traditional way, meaning, getting a realtor, getting a loan, just closing the house with traditional real estate methods, okay? All right, so 2010, I was advised that my debt to income is too high. I can't buy any more houses. So I was doomed. I thought my real estate career was over, right? I was like, oh my God, it's over for me. I can't, what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna be stuck in this cost in the rest of my life. I gotta sell these things. And at the time in 2010, you couldn't sell them, and they were cash flowing good. And one was a great appreciation play. So, I found out about this thing called wholesaling, right? So, read a book, went down to my local real estate investment association, RIA, okay? Went down to one. Currently, we're in the midst of the COVID crisis, so some real estate meetups are still going on and some are not. You can find probably your local one on meetup.com. And on meetup.com, you can type in your zip code and real estate investment to find your local real estate clubs. But anyway, I went to one of those meetings, right? And then the guy, he was talking about, wholesaling houses, no money and no credit. And I'm like, what? No money and no credit? I said, that's me. I don't have any money. I don't have any credit no more, the banks told me, right? So I can do this thing. So, fortunately, I was broke enough to listen, right? So I listened to him in 2011. I got a mentor in January, right? Took me 8 months to get my first deal, got my first wholesale deal in 2011, made $2,000, okay? All I needed was proof of concept. I didn't care how small or how big the money was. I was working a job while doing this too, all right? So I'm working a job, but that's I needed proof of concept. After that, I started doing more deals, right? September of 2012 came about, right? September of 2012, I got fired from my job, all right? Don't feel bad for me. It wasn't a surprise fire. I knew it was coming, right? So look, boom, I get fired, okay? My highest paying job to date was $38,000 a year, okay? I have a bachelor's degree in communications, and that's my highest paying job to year was $38,000, okay? September of 2012, they let me go. So society basically said, hey, for what you do, you're worth 38 grand a year. All right, cool. Fast forward, I have a 7-figure real estate business, all right? Thankfully, wholesaling was around. So yes, wholesaling works. With wholesaling, you can create a 5-figure business, 6-figure business, 7-figure business. You can do it part-time, you can do it full-time, okay? But essentially, it does work. So, basically what it is, you're finding a property at a deep discount. a motivated seller, a distressed seller, okay? And in life, things happen. People get divorced, people passed. You know, nothing is guaranteed in life but death and taxes. So therefore, you know, people die, unfortunately. People have to pay taxes and they don't have the money for that, okay? People lose their jobs. People get in a situation where they don't want to sell their house, but they need to sell their house, okay? People become burnt out landlords. I was a motivated seller before, multiple times being a burnt out landlord. I knew I could have put my house on the open market to maybe get more, but I didn't want to sit out there when I got a cash offer right in front of me and he's going to take this responsibility away and, you know, and I sell them the property. So look, those things happen. You know, investors sell to investors all the time, and homeowners need to sell to investors because they need quick close, they need cash because their properties don't qualify for a loan. All right. So, and I've had multiple properties that don't qualify for a loan, and I'm like, man, I'm tired of the type of tenant this property attracts. So let me just get out of here. And I've been a motivated seller before, right? So this does happen. All right. Now, it's not for you to figure out why somebody does what they do. Okay. If as a wholesaler, you want to have that solution for them. Okay. Their house, a lot of times, the majority of the time, the houses we deal with, they don't qualify for traditional loans. They will not qualify for that. They have a lot of issues, okay? Some of these people need cash fast, okay? Some of these people need you to work with them on closing, all right? And this is just a small amount of reasons on why somebody will deal with you, right? So, let's say you find somebody, the property is worth 100, and they inherited the property, right? They inherited the property. They live 2 states away. This property is a burden because they're getting tax notices. They're getting letters from the city to mow the grass. And they live 2 states away. So let's say you do some form of marketing. You're driving for dollars. And you call that person and you say, hey, look, I see this property over here at 123 Main Street. And I see this vacant, the mailbox is full, you open to selling it. And they might say, well, actually, I'm coming down next weekend to see what's going on because the city is telling me I got to cut the grass and I got to get the mail. So you can meet me out there, we can make something happen. All right, you say, yeah, absolutely, I can meet you out there. All right, and you did this through a method called driving for dollars. This is how I got started. When you're driving for dollars, you're looking for beat up, ugly, toe up from the floor up houses, you know, bad roofs, mailbox full, things of that nature, right? So you're driving for dollars, you get this lead, right? So 2 weeks later, the following week, they said they coming out of town, you meet the seller, right? And you said, okay, well, Mr. Seller, could you let me inside? The seller lets you inside, right? You're taking pictures, okay? You're taking pictures of everything, and from you taking pictures, you're like, all right, great. So you ask Mr. Seller, hey, what do you want for the property? And he said, well, can you make me an offer? Can you make me an offer? He doesn't want to give out his price, right? And you say, well, look, probably at, I don't know, needs a lot of work, which it probably does because the house is still in the original condition. The house was built in the 70s, right? So, look, I'm thinking about $35,000. I can't do that, man. You know, me and my wife, we were hoping to get $45,000. Okay, and you're like, okay, well, it needs $20,000 worth of work, whatever the case may be. All right. So then you sign a contract with him. All right, he said, hey, I'm leaving town. You say, hey, can I get a copy of the key because I want to put a lockbox on the door. He may agree to it, he may not, all right? You got pictures and everything. And he said, well, I'm coming back down. Let's say he doesn't agree to it. Say, hey, I'm coming back down in 2 weeks. I can get your contractors and money partners in now, all right? The contractors and money partners, they might be your cash buyers, you know? So therefore, that's what I say, I need to get my contractors and money partners in, whatever the case may be, right? So then at that point, you get your cash buyers in, all right? Your cash buyers in the house, okay? So with your cash buyers coming in the property, at that particular point, what they want to examine the house, right? Let's say you contact 5 cash buyers, right? By going to durudata.com, all right? And you look it up to find some cash buyers. You skip trace them, you call them, say, hey, I got this property over here. All right, so boom. You go over there. And from you going over there to meet the buyers, you take them on a tour. All right. One buyer said how much you want for the house. Well, you essentially, I missed that part. You told them you wanted $55,000 for the house. House needs $20,000 worth of work. The house worth $100. Okay. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna say, he might say, look, I can't do 55 because it messes up my numbers, but I can do 50. All right. You're making $5,000 one-time fee. Okay. You make your $5,000. So what happens at this point is, you say, okay, well, you can have it. You might do some negotiations. I'm just trying to keep this example simple. So you have a contract. You will then assign him your contract, all right? So contract, and then you assign it to them. Now, when you assign this contract to this individual, you say, hey, I need a $2,000 deposit, and he writes a check for $2,000 either to the title company or the attorney. I'm in North Carolina. We use attorneys to close our deals. Okay, so $2,000. He writes the check out. You got the assignment. You drop it off to the title company or attorney, depending on your state or what you use to close. Right. Let's say that they do the title search. There's no judgments. There's no liens. Great, right? Great thing. So on closing day, you know what happens on closing day? On closing day, you pick up a check for $5,000 because you had the property for $45,000, you sold it to them for $50,000, okay? And let's say that's your first deal. Now you have proof of concept. You know, I know as a college grad, after taxes, I maybe was bringing home my highest paying job like 11 between 11 and 1,200 or something like that, or maybe 1,200. You know what I'm saying? So after taxes and insurances and all that, so 11, 1,200 twice a month. So I use that example to say if you got $5,000 one hit, you made more than me as a college grad, and at a job, in the corporate. So therefore, you're doing pretty good, right? And let's say you rinse and repeat. Now, when I started off driving for dollars, I was broke, so I used pen and paper. Pen and paper, okay? Wrote down everything, right? But now they have apps like DuruDriving.com, right? If you go to DuruDriving.com, you can download the Deal Machine app, right? At DuruDriving.com, it'll get you right, you know what I mean? You can do all this from your phone, right? So you can actually drive for dollars, right, on this, right? And what you can do is you can skip trace it right there, get the phone number, call people, etc. And do what you need to do. Mail pieces right from your phone. Back when I was doing it in 2011, it was a 2-day process, but thanks to DuruDriving.com, the process is much more simple now. So, in a nutshell, yes, wholesaling real estate actually does work, okay? Believe it or not, it does work, okay? But you definitely have to believe it's different. You might not want to talk to your friends. You might want to surround yourself with people who are actually do it and want to strive and have goals like yours, all right? So you want to get around like-minded people. Because when I first started my real estate career, I can't even count how many people advised me that, this just wasn't going to happen for me. Oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, and, oh, that's hard. You can't do that you can't do that full time. So, but I was able to do that, and fast forward, I have a 7-figure business. So, you don't want to listen to the naysayers. You want to listen to the yes-sayers. All right, just made that up. All right, so cool. Now, if you want some access to me, you go to Facebook group, Wholesaling with the Guru. All right, Wholesaling with the Guru. Get access to me. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, Real Estate Guru. Follow me on Instagram at Real Estate Guru. Also, if you want to learn more about wholesaling, right, and get to the point where you're doing 3 to 5 deals a month, right? Let's say those are 3 to 5 small deals at $5,000 a pop. Well, at 3, that's $15,000 a month. All right, just at 3 at $5,000 a pop. You're doing 5 at $5,000. That's $25,000. Probably a lot more you're making at your job, all right? And you're probably, believe me, I know people with MBAs who don't make that kind of money, all right? So if you want to learn more about that and get those checks, go to maxandnas.com, okay? Go to maxandnas.com. We have a course, the One Deal Away course, to get you on track with your goals and have a more streamlined process to building your business, all right? So, as usual, I wish you much success in your life and in your business. Peace.